introduction, I have to say, I have to ask you this question. I know you are a wonderful journalist, and clearly you have shown your excellence. Where did you get all that information from? I'm quite impressed. I think that shows that not only is he a excellent investigative journalist, but I think the last 2 days, as we were at the Press Complaints Commission, there was a lot of criticism of Sri Lankan journalism. I think Ashoka just completely dispelled that for us and showed that he can sort of, delve into anybody's life very effectively and pretty much chart the last 25 years of my life incredibly accurately. So congratulations for doing that. But anyway, I kind of, I want to make some very general observations about journalism ethics. As Ashoka pointed out, my area of expertise is journalism ethics, globalization, and media. And I came here today. I'm in Colombo for the last 4 days to attend the Press Complaints Commission's conference. But I came here today with a very kind of as a professor, which is, the way I teach is a very interactive mode. I did not come here prepared, and I told this to Pradeep, I didn't come here with the 5-page lecture, but to just kind of, hear you guys ask me some questions, and sort of, kind of keep it as interactive as possible. That helps my throat too, but... but I'll start with the few general themes and a few general comments that I have of what I've heard for the last 2 days, and from my own, which I can syncretize with my own theoretical background, which is actually a background in philosophy and ethics. That's my training. So I have a journalism degree. I practiced very briefly in my life. So I'm not here to give you specific skills-oriented discussion. What I'm here to talk to you about is more of a of the question that I would pose to you, and I pose to my students and myself every day, is why ethics is important. Why ethics, and that is indeed the title of my next edited volume, why ethics matters. And I say that not just to journalists, but cross professions. Okay? But I do believe that we have, as I said day before yesterday in the conference, that we are at a moment of crisis. Okay? And I think our profession, your profession, journalism profession, is particularly at a moment of crisis, not only in terms of technology. I think with the advent of new technologies such as social media and kind of iPhones, many kinds of different miniaturization of cameras, etc., etc. I don't think it's just a matter of technology. Okay? I think there are significant social, political, and economic changes, environmental changes taking place globally, which are impetus to this crisis. So, is there an ethical crisis? I think yes, there is. This is a significant moment. Okay? I also believe that unlike other professions such as law and medicine, for some reason, journalists, proprietors are unable to engage in a very extensive, in-depth, and profound and open discussion of ethics. I don't see, and I speak at different venues, but and maybe I'm too skeptical about this, but I don't see this kind of crisis or this kind of apathy towards ethics in the legal profession or the medicines. Because, I don't think most often what we see is really a commitment to certain ethical standards. Right? Of course, there's always that discussion, even in medicine. But I don't think a doctor or a surgeon sort of gives up his or her Hippocratic oath each time a new technology comes in. For some reason, in journalism, every time there's a new technology that comes in, everybody says, well, the old ethics won't apply. My point is, no, that's not true. The old ethics that were being discussed in 18th, 19th century, or even before, apply today. It's just the technology is the tool. The fundamentals, philosophical, and theories of human interaction predate social media. Okay, so in that sense, I think our discussion of ethics ought not to be in crisis each time there is a new technology. So I think so to answer my own question and to pose it to you, okay, why journalism ethics matters, right? It has always mattered. The question is, how important do you think this is, right? How important do you think this moment is? Okay, that's my first sort of question to you, and I'd be happy to discuss this. My second point, which I kind of, if not in a explicit, but in a tangential way, tried to make it at the conference the last 2 days, is this whole issue of who is to be responsible to determine the ethics of the profession. And I think that was the question we struggled with for the last 2 days. I have stated elsewhere, and they're going to put my video up. I think PCCL has already put the video up. I think I'm very clear about my position, which is I strongly believe that the ethics of the professions ought to come from the people who are involved in the profession. And I have no kind of quick remedy, nor do I have, especially in the context of Sri Lanka. But I can tell you from my experiences in the United States and my experience in South Africa and India, is that the best, whether you want to call codes of ethics, behaviors, or professional practices, often come from those people who practice it on a daily basis. Okay, and this is not kind of to exclude others from entering the conversation, right? That's not the purpose of this discussion. I am assuming that whenever this discussion takes place, you will also keep in mind the other stakeholders in this, in making of the ethical principles, which would be your public, okay, your audiences, your readers, your viewers, right? And people like educators, right? The last and the least significant people, which is a troubling part of what I see, particularly in South Asia and Africa rather than elsewhere, is to involve the state, the government, at every level of this conversation. Okay.